Alrighty everyone, welcome back. We are nearing the very end of February of 2025, and we are getting closer to that March 4th debut of With Love Meghan. This is the very reason why the Netflix board of directors, the many executives over there, including CEO Greg Peters, they're all beginning to go into this phase of panic right now. They are beginning to realize that reality is now setting in, that this backlash, this overall pushback by the general public, mind you, it is not watering down. It is not getting any better. It's not diminishing over time. In fact, if anything, it is growing in numbers, and it's creating a Netflix boycott. It's causing those out there to unsubscribe from their service / their platform, and they are really beginning to realize that, and it's not looking good for their sake. This is Mike Zero. Subscribe if you're new, and like this video to see future updates. You can also follow me at Mike01. I thank you also very much for the great and kind support. So, Meghan Markle, we know that she is very much involved in a lot of issues right now over at Netflix. She is also the one that created a lot of those internal studio problems and everything going on with the drama over there between the board, the executives, Greg Peters. I mean, there's a lot of things going on. It is a web full of issues over at Netflix HQ as we get closer to that March 4th debut of With Love Meghan. Now, this is where things begin to really get interesting. Now, we already discussed about how they are up to their 7th failed test screening for With Love Meghan. It's not looking good at all for them. In fact, this and Snow White 2025, I think, are going to be the two major failures, generally speaking, when it comes to the film industry, when it comes to show business in 2025. I think that you're going to see a lot of things going on in March. However, to top things off here, ever since the debut of With Love Meghan and that trailer in January, Netflix has been going through endless backlash while also dealing with internal studio drama. One massive development that is now active involves more to do with new crucial updates to the Meghan Markle drama for the series With Love Meghan. It turns out that the Netflix board, the executives, and even CEO Greg Peters, along with Meghan Markle herself, recently had a very detailed emergency meeting in response to the public backlash and the wave of unsubscribers toward Netflix. Now, the majority of the board recently made a swift move that Meghan Markle is truly shocked by, of course, and is panicking over the fact that they are eagerly demanding the editing team to delete another 35 to 40 minutes worth of footage from the Meghan Markle series, which is going to slash all 8 episodes down significantly, especially after last week's removal of 1 hour of footage. This all comes in the midst of the ongoing failed test screenings that are not improving at all. In addition to this emergency meeting that also threw Meghan Markle into a serious state of panic, involved how they are also canceling, get this, some hand-picked cameos that were going to be chosen, or that were chosen by Meghan Markle herself. These were said to be celebrity cameos that were going to appear in With Love Meghan that will now be completely erased as Netflix plans to only use the bare minimum of cameos in the series. One major cameo in particular that was going to play a very big role in the show was going to involve Oprah, and in addition to that, Taylor Swift, just as 2 examples there, who had shot a surprise scene that was going to be utilized in episode 8, where she and others would communicate with Meghan Markle in the show. Now, this was scrapped, and is just one example of the many celebrity cameos that were scrapped from the show. In addition to this, the emergency meeting also utilized a specific order from the board down to the editing and marketing team to completely withdraw from over 60% of commercials and or TV spots with Love Meghan, as they are now beginning to completely shift away from their marketing campaign and strategy. Multiple important interviews, get this, for the show have also been scrapped that were going to involve Meghan Markle. Markle's press tour, where it stands now, is essentially nearly non-existent and will only be a very short-lived press tour to promote the show. So guys, before I move on, let me just say one thing about this. The board is now seemingly beginning to turn on Meghan Markle. Now, we talked about the widespread common misconception about Netflix is on Meghan Markle's side, or Meghan Markle is not getting the support from Netflix. It was pretty much both. It was going both ways, right? You had the executives and CEO Greg Peters that were against her, while at the same exact time you had the board of directors that were in nearly full support of Meghan Markle. And now they're making this swift move with this emergency meeting, this emergency action, to essentially really just remove as much footage as possible that is unneeded, unnecessary, that failed the most in the test screenings, Now it's another wave of 35 minutes of footage getting deleted on top of the 1 hour of footage, 1 hour and 2 minutes to be exact, from last week. That's a lot of footage that's deleted from a show that's really not going to be all that long, quite frankly. It's, yes, 8 episodes, but each episode is not a full 1 hour per se. Just kind of think of it like that for a second and bundle up all that footage that was deleted. You can only imagine what's going on with the screen time for different characters in this show. Now, interestingly enough, alright, I think that Netflix realizes that no action that they make, no change or alteration that they make to the show, it's not going to improve anything. This is nothing more than basically survival mode at this point. They are just doing whatever they can to improve it a little bit, or to make it at least a little bit more bearable, and that's about all they can do right now behind the scenes over at Netflix. But moving onwards, this is all a marketing decision by the board to actually hide Meghan Markle from the public eye until the show debuts on March 4th. Now, Markle is already trying to fight the Netflix board and reportedly feels betrayed after what they did in this emergency meeting for With Love Meghan. Markle was also reportedly fuming and had a moment of vocal outrage after learning that nearly all the major celebrity cameos, including Oprah and Taylor Swift, for example, were cancelled from the show. This is also said to be a move by the board to protect their image and the image of Netflix as reality begins to set in, that the backlash is not watering down one bit toward the show, and the in-studio drama is only getting worse. Now, we also talked about how Greg Peters, the CEO, really has a lot of problems with Meghan Markle, and you know what? He's got a lot of valid reasons as to why he has a lot of criticisms with her, why he labeled her as difficult to work with, very similar to how Rachel Zegler is difficult to work with over at Disney for Snow White. Ironically, they are both Rachels, right? But when you look at stuff like this is exactly why studios like South Park Studios and Paramount are mocking her, or are beginning to mock her behind the scenes for their upcoming DEI special and what's going on with that. There's a lot of things going on with Love Meghan, and why this show is getting so much flack, why it's getting so much backlash, and exactly what's going on over there. So, Greg Peters, I think that he made the right call to at least convince the board to make this emergency meeting, to really kind of bring things to the table, and really make all these different changes as much as possible for whatever they can do at this point. But it's not going to fix anything, it's not going to make anything better, that's for certain. And we already know one thing about this, is that everything to do with Love Meghan is that it really is going to be a ratings disaster. We know it, they know it. This is by far the worst marketing campaign in history under Netflix. They are bleeding subscribers right now. They're losing them left and right. In fact, they are losing potential new subscribers. People that were thinking about joining Netflix are now backing off because of not just Meghan Markle, but a lot of it has to do with those rate increases, right? There's a lot of price hikes going on right now over at Netflix, and more to come toward the later portion of 2025, and especially as we roll into 2026 next year, there's going to be more hikes, so that's going to be another ongoing issue. But overall, I would like to hear what everyone has to say about all this below in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel, and I will catch you guys later.